Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bridgewater Township Council meeting on Tuesday, November 6th. For the meeting. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of New Jersey, the adequate notice of this meeting was provided on December 10th, 2024, by sending written notice and electronic notice to the Courier News and the Breeze, posting on the website and the bulletin board in the municipal building, and filing with the township clerk. Madam Clerk, may we have the roll call, please?
Councilman Kirsch?
Here.
Councilman Codilla?
Here.
Councilman Pedroso? Councilman Ring?
Here.
President Nogales?
Yes. We have minutes for approval of September 18th.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the pledge will be led by Tim Ring. Thank you, Tim. Minutes for approval, September 18th, 2025, and October 6th, 2025, regular sessions.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those,
I would just ask if we could separate those because I was not present on September 18th.
okay, so you're going to recuse for September 18th?
I would, yes.
Okay, so noted. All right, so we'll take a vote on October 6th. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Vote on September.
Motion to approve September 18th.
Okay, second from Alan.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You're recusing. Okay, good. Township Council reports. Let's start with Councilman Ring, please.
Thank you, sir. I'll be very brief. To all of the candidates that ran in this election cycle, I think we thank you to them. Running for office, win or lose, is never an easy process. Campaigning is very taxing, not only on the candidate, but their friends and family. So to everyone who ran, thank you. With a special congratulations to all of the winners in the recent election. And then on a side note related to the elections, I just ask everyone, whether a candidate or a supporter, if you put a sign out, please make sure you go retrieve the sign you put out and help clean up the signs around town. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Kirsch, please.
Thank you. I have a number of items. I'll try to be brief on each one. Do want to issue congratulations, particularly to our council members-elect, Joan Geiger, Andrew Bucko, and Ridwana Isla. So congratulations, and I've reached out to each of you, and my comment is sincere, in congratulating you and welcoming you to the club, so to speak, and we'll have our adventure together. On October 7th, the planning board met, discussed the quarry plan, which is on our agenda tonight. On the 14th, the zoning board met, approved a pool application, hardship because of the size of the property on Gateshead Drive, and approved that with some appropriate concessions that were made. Also, a new lot was approved on the corner or near the corner of Country Club and Eisenhower, also with appropriate concessions. Next, on the 21st, the planning board met, heard the clubhouse of Somerset County, not just golf. That's been publicized and will be a very positive addition to the community. They are looking to hopefully be up and running like late spring. They do have a considerable amount of work to do on the property. On the 26th, attended the Diwali celebration at the temple. That was, an annual event. Certainly always happy to represent the community and also benefit from that cultural exchange, cultural experience personally. Let me just try to stay on my list here. October 28th, I attended the Somerset County Commissioners meeting, as did a number of other residents, and I just want to acknowledge the area of concern that I particularly raised was what is the plan for Washington Valley Park? What is it, and when will it be communicated, and how will it be communicated? A road was built, whether it was smart or not smart, I leave it to people to come to their own decision, But the question that I ask is, what is that road leading to ultimately? Like, what's going to be there? That's a question that seems to be, still up in the air. On us later that night, the zoning board met, heard a case on Harding Road, and that was, it's a general contracting business that's occurring there, and with appropriate concessions, use and bulk variances for a pre-existing condition were approved. On the 30th, we had our Halloween celebration, which I guess we're now calling Blues and Booze, right? Is that booze, not booze like you drink, like BOOS? I did go as a pirate, so, I kind of went with the whole eye patch thing, and, because sometimes you just have to go with the thing that makes the most sense. I'm sorry, going back also on the 20th, I missed this in my notes. Also, the Bridgewater self-storage, that will next be heard in I believe, early December. Election Day was a couple days ago. I already talked about the winners, but want to acknowledge the hard work of our staff that made that day possible, as they always do. Our clerk staff, Grace Jaguna, Juliana Coelho, Natalie Triosi, and Ali Gust. Others who have participated from administration, Patty Bueno; from engineering, Cunal Dash; from planning, Maria D. Simone; from tax collection, Nicole Smith, and several members of our DPW. Clearly a village was required that day. We also hosted early voting. Robust amount of early voting occurred. And then on earlier today, I met with Congressman Kane. We were over at the Mira V Assisted Living Facility, discussing some relevant issues to them, some at the federal and state level, and also started the building of a bridge to discuss local matters as well. And that is my report.
Thank you. Councilman Cardella, please.
Thank you. During the past few weeks, certainly been an adventure any way you look at it. But as far as the township activity goes, I attended the Diwali celebration of Light and Good, which is certainly an interesting festival and just an enjoyable thing to attend. I also attended the township night out for Halloween, looking at all the kids and the parents in costumes and our own pirate. It was very interesting. It's one of those things that helps bring the township together. I also received, what we received here was a virtual public information center letter from the New Jersey Department of Transportation that is talking about the long-term improvements on Route 22 for the sustainable corridor, stating that between November 10th and November 17th, there's going to be a website that you could access, and I would believe Mr. Pappas will have that on our township website for the public to take a look at it. Last evening, there was a fire in Bradley Gardens on Lake Horn Avenue, and as usual, our volunteer companies responded. And if you look at the Bridgewater patch and look at the house on fire, you wonder, oh my gosh, it looks terrible. But the good news is the fire was put out, and it looks like the multiple township fire departments working with Bradley Gardens did a tremendous job to control the damage to what looked like, in my opinion, a pretty serious fire. Now, regarding the past few days with the election, I would certainly be remiss if I didn't congratulate our new upcoming council members. Don't kid yourself. If I could change the numbers, I would, but I can't. So certainly congratulations. I do have one thing to say, and I don't want to make my congratulations sound bad with it, but I read an article in the patch, and Ms. Isla stated we should all celebrate that the council will finally look like the people it represents. Now, I think it's okay, But I would just want to make sure that everybody understands that over the years, for all the time that I've sat on this governing body, every council person that I've worked with had one thing in mind. That was to represent all race, all creed, all religion, basically every person who lives in Bridgewater Township, however you sit, and our decisions apply to all residents. I believe Ms. Isla's comments may be taken out of context a little, but please allow me to offer my opinion on it. I still wish you all the best in the world. In some regards, I know you're going to have some sleepless nights. There will be discussions where there will be disagreements. But at the end of the day, you're all here for one purpose, and that is for the residents of Bridgewater. And I do believe you will do a good job. So best wishes to each one of you. And the sun did come up on Wednesday, so even though it was a bad Tuesday night for me, the sun did come up. So best wishes. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. I'm going to depart from the traditional report format, instead talk about the council transition into 2026. As the election results have clearly shown, the residents of Bridgewater have spoken and are altering the council membership for next year. I have been in contact with Joan Geiger, the top Democratic vote-getter, and assured her of my complete cooperation in providing Joan and her group with details needed to be ironed out so that we have a fruitful and well-organized reorganization meeting during the first 10 days or so in January. The specific date for that has not yet been announced. I want to thank Alan and Philippe, who will be leaving their council seats at the end of the year, for their long service to Bridgewater Township. In Alan's case, over 20 years. Speaking of Alan, I'd be remiss if I did not mention his more than 50 years as a firefighter and many of those as chief. Our open space program has been his baby since it was been voter approved many years ago. But getting back to the transition, I will be setting up walkthroughs of the complex and introduction of department heads for our newest council folks, as well as packets of information to help ground them for the township business that goes on in the background and unseen by the public. Mayor's report, please, Mr. Pappas.
Thank you. My report will be brief. I would like Catherine Sarment to come forward, our township planner. We have a very brief presentation for her that has some time sensitivity, and she will. Thank you.
Thank you. As the council knows, the planning board has been very active on a number of different fronts. She will be discussing some actions that the planning board will be considering early next month, and a companion set of ordinances that would need council consideration. Catherine.
Thank you, Mr. Pappas. Good evening, council members. I apologize. The memo, I somehow dated it tomorrow's date. I don't know if my word did that or what, but it's supposed to be November 6th. It says November 7th. That memo is related to the Somerset Corporate Center, which is in the BRCC zone. We received a request, that's mostly office building, office use there in the BRCC zone, and it does permit office uses, professional offices, health and wellness uses or fitness uses, and as well as hotel and restaurant use. And as you've heard over the years, the office market and office demand in New Jersey has changed over time, not only due to corporations and headquarters leaving the state, but also due to workforce trend changes, due to remote work and hybrid work situations. And so the office market is not what it used to be, and there is probably about 1 million square feet in that corporate center. And there are some anticipated significant vacancies that we were alerted to from the property owner, but there are interest from medical office use tenants to tenant those buildings. In particular, Roman numeral 5 on that map, which is the former Qualcomm building, has about 150,000 square feet of office space. And the request really is not to rezone the area, not to change the zoning designation, but to simply permit an additional use, which would be a medical office use and laboratory use with ancillary types of medical uses like radiation therapy, medical imaging, diagnostic, and laboratory facilities. And this is not the first time that Bridgewater has seen office spaces transformed to more biotech or medical uses. Up on 202, the Solaris building is a biotech company. In the retail in the Village of Bridgewater Commons, the old Crate and Barrel is now a Summit Medical Facility. And so we are seeing this trend even within our own community and statewide. And so the memo that was provided basically includes everything I just said, but there is a request and this presentation is intended to inform the council of just that potential change to include an additional permitted use. Medical office use and laboratory use tends to have very similar parking demands as normal office use. And in addition to that, the corporate center has an existing number of surface parking spaces as well as structured parking that could facilitate this use. So I just wanted to bring this to the council's attention, and there is a potential that the planning board is undertaking a master plan reexamination report, a very brief report compared to the master plan that we just adopted, and that this could end up being a recommendation as part of that reexamination report. Yes.
Part of the reason that we're here tonight is the council's practice to have a presentation prior to any consideration of an introduction of an ordinance.
Next meeting.
At the next meeting. So the planning board will be meeting on December the 2nd. We'll be considering this, yes.
They'll be considering it through a master plan reexamination.
And then the council will meet the next night. So the administration is presenting this for the council's consideration. The documents haven't been fully drafted. We would hope to get them to you within the next several days, but we would certainly appreciate your consideration.
Council schedule over the next couple of meetings, the December 3rd meeting was originally December 4th, and the 18th meeting is now going to be the 17th. So there was a one-day pull-up from the Thursday to the Wednesday before at the request of the administration. So I anticipate that this issue will be before us in its totality at the next session. Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, I mean, I just have a comment, and I am the representative on the planning board, so certainly we'll take a very active interest on both December 2nd and December 3rd. Generally speaking, I think that reasonable flexibility is important. And I presume that we'll walk that through on both December 2nd and December 3rd. A concern that I have, though, is, while there is and appears to be a need for additional medical, medical is not the panacea for every location in every municipality across New Jersey and the United States. So, at a certain point, there will be saturation. If this landowner believes that is a good use here and there is demand, that's certainly something we should be discussing on the 2nd and the 3rd. But I think it is important to note that every office building and every vacant space everywhere in Bridgewater, unless I'm wrong, there couldn't possibly be enough need for medical offices, at least in the near future. So I think we just need to be very careful in understanding where that may be appropriate and where it might be a pipe dream.
Okay. There is intense competition in the medical field right now, whether it's Summit Health and RWJ or any of the other hospitals or things. So, and if you need a specialty, you want it to be close by. So, we'll see. Okay. All right. Any other comments? Okay, sir. The proclamation for Veterans Day will be read by Tim Ring.
Any other veterans? Come on up. At Army and Navy. Thank you for your service. Thank you. So, whereas since the founding of our nation, brave men and women have stepped forward to defend the freedoms, values, and principles that define the United States of America, and whereas Veterans Day provides us with a solemn opportunity to honor all who have served in the armed forces of the United States, in times of war and in times of peace, and to recognize the immeasurable sacrifices they and their families have made in service to our nation. And whereas the veterans of Bridgewater Township are part of a proud legacy of courage and commitment from the patriots who gathered at Middlebrook during our nation's birth to the service members who continue to protect liberty around the world today. And whereas we are forever indebted to those who have worn the uniform for their strength, their devotion to duty, and their willingness to place country above self. And whereas it is fitting that all residents pause on this day to reflect and express gratitude to the veterans for the peace and freedom we enjoy. On behalf of Mayor Mensch, it is now therefore resolved that Township of Bridgewater, along with the Township Council, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, November 11, 2025, as Veterans Day in the Township of Bridgewater, and we urge all citizens to honor and thank our veterans for their service to our community and our country. On behalf of the Township, I will present that to you. Thank you. We're going to do a picture. You get to do a picture. It's all right. It's all good.
Moving to item 8, presentations, we have none. Meeting open to the public. And item 9, members of the public wishing to address the council on any matter will be allowed 3 minutes to speak unless there are specific circumstances. May I have a motion open to the public, please?
Make the motion.
And a second, please? I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, folks, we're open to the public. Please come forward, sign your name and address, and tell us who you are.
Okay, I don't see a paper to sign my name. I'll tell you my name.
Pull the mic down so we can really hear you.
Hi, my name is Carolyn Joya. I live at 1402 Paley Court in Bridgewater. Good to see you all again. Couple things. One, I guess I'll start with Councilman Cardilla's comment about Ridwana Isla's quote, and I just wanted to tell you my perspective on that. When I read that quote, actually, first of all, if anyone would mind raising their hands if they're of the female persuasion. No. I took it to mean females. So in that sense, let's be complete in how this would be better representing all of the residents of Bridgewater. Secondly, I was at the commissioners' meeting that the mayor invited us to, and I found it very interesting, very informative. I also would like to know if anyone in the room here is currently serving on the Shade Tree Board for Bridgewater? No. Okay, I think there are 3 members. There's supposed to be 7. And what I thought might be a good idea is if we could engage them a little more in this discussion. I was even thinking what might be nice is to sort of bring everyone together for the 250th anniversary to propose that Bridgewater and the Shade Tree Commission would work on a fundraiser for putting out 250 trees in honor of our anniversary. And I would like to get in touch with them if possible. Maybe I can discuss some of this with them if it's something in their purview to do. So I thought I would just suggest that. Might be a nice community sort of healing exercise to all come together and do something positive. And then finally, I was reading about one of the resolutions for tonight, and it was about the Newcomers Club, or Newcomers $6,000 appropriations. I didn't know we had a Newcomers group. In a past life, I was president of a Newcomers Club in Bridgewater, and we never received any funding from the town, never asked for any funding. And I did a quick search online, and AI doesn't seem to recognize any sort of Bridgewater Newcomers organization. So if I could get a little more clarity on what that is and what they do.
I believe that's a high school function, is it not, for welcome? I'm not sure, but I believe it's a high school. We'll check. We'll ask Mr. Pappas to check on that one. How's that?
Maybe we should do that before we approve the $6,000.
Sorry?
Can we do that before we approve the $6,000?
No.
So we know what it's going for. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, it's not the newcomers in terms of residents welcome new ones. Years and years ago, I was part of a newcomers thing where you had dinners at one another's house. This is not that.
I know it is a grant that we're receiving.
Oh, we're receiving a grant
Receiving
for
a
it.
grant, yes, receipt of a grant.
Well, maybe that can go towards trees.
I don't have all the details here, but I do know that it is a grant that we're receiving. And
Okay.
when a grant is received, the council has to adopt a resolution to insert it as a budget item that hadn't been anticipated.
Interesting. Okay, thank you. Those
You're
were all
welcome.
my comments.
Nice day. Thank you for coming up. Next person, please.
And to Citroen, Stangle Road. Just a few items. In terms of, under the heading of lessons learned, could you describe what efforts that the township leadership is taking in terms of finding and keeping abreast of the county's project up in Washington Valley Park?
This is a time for you to tell us what's on your mind, but not to ask us to respond back, because we may have no idea what the question involves. So don't look for answers tonight. You tell us what's on your mind.
No, my question is, to what extent is there collaboration? Let me rephrase. To what extent is there going forward collaboration, communication, so that residents aren't quite as blindsided as we have been in the last few weeks regarding the overall scope of project? I also attended the commission meeting, and it certainly sounded like there was more in the offing in terms of what's happening there. I can certainly attend those meetings, but what I'm hoping to see is perhaps some higher level of engagement and communication. Is that appropriately questioned?
That's a good question.
So I don't know if there's
This council, I think the relationship, I don't think that's something for this council. I think
Well, many of you attended, several of you attended. The mayor
the
spoke.
relationship between the township and the county is really one that sits within the administration. The county government's a little bit different. They don't have a chief elected officer like a township does. So I don't know that we're the best place for your question.
Okay,
I
so,
think Mr. Pappas has the question now. And Tim is right. It is a case of the administration, meaning mayor, administrator, and the county. This body politic does not interface with the county directly.
but you oversee the administration?
We do
Or
not.
work closely
We do not.
with the
We
administration?
are the judiciary branch of government. We have exactly 4 employees. The administration, meaning the mayor and administrator, have all the DPW people. They fix the roads, they plow the roads, and the police force.
Under the law, we are governed under what's called the Faulkner Act. And if you actually look it up, the Faulkner Act defines strong mayor, weak council.
Those are exactly the words. They're insulting words, but those are exactly the words. So we don't have a lot of authority.
So I understand that, but I also understand from the presentation that there were communications and meetings going on throughout 2025. So forgive me for my confusion at this point, because I was sort of using that as a launch point, that if there were communications, notifications, I'm not exactly sure of the nature of them, that I was now looking forward and saying, okay, since there was such a sort of public presence at the meeting, several of you attended, just wanted to know sort of what comes next.
I
And
think this
understand what you're
meeting,
saying, and I
the one you
can,
mentioned, was kind of unique in that the township decided to suggest that our residents attend that meeting. That is very atypical, but then this situation was atypical where they were taking down trees that, in our opinion, far exceeded the number that they were originally talking about.
so.
We like trees.
So my understanding going forward, the county will continue to do what it's doing up in Washington Valley Park and provide whatever necessary notifications to the township.
I
as-
was
as
disappointed that
required.
after the lawsuit was filed, they didn't stop work and have the thing immediately adjudicated on an emergency basis. That did not happen. But then everyone should understand there is a pyramid, a reverse pyramid, where the feds trump everybody, state trumps county, county trumps the local municipality, so.
There's one more. So I sort of feel like the county is taking out of my left pocket, and the township takes what it needs out of my right pocket. But both bodies serve the public. And so what I was hoping to hear was perhaps a different tone of communication, but I certainly understand the legalities and jurisdictional issues. I was just hoping for an update. The second question is sort of relevant to what was presented earlier in the meeting, in terms of now that there is a master plan that provides a framework as guidance going forward. I think it would be helpful for the residents to understand how that master plan plays into decision-making, whether it's zoning or planning or you yourselves. How is that document used when things like that were presented come up? I'm just curious because I honestly don't know how it's used, how it's referenced.
It's basically the land development guide, if you will.
Right.
It says what can be built where and when. In this particular case, someone has come forth that has expressed a desire for something that, according to the master plan, is not allowed there. So they ask us to re-examine that. That's the master plan re-examination report. And then ultimately, the planning board will look at that, prepare a recommendation that comes to the council to say yay or nay.
And
But
presumably,
the
it's
master plan is basically, it's your planning document. It says what you can build where and what the requirements are for it.
But individual landowners have the ability, even though it might not be listed in the master plan, to appeal the process. The master plan is a living document, and it changes over years, just as.
In this particular case, someone's coming saying, hey, will you consider changing your master plan? There's other situations where someone goes before the zoning board and says, I have a hardship, I want an exception from your master plan.
Okay, all right, okay. And hopefully, when there are different balances that to be struck, that that can serve as a reference.
It's sort of like a dance. You know what I mean?
Depends on what kind of dance, I suppose. My last two questions really are finance related. So again, I ask as to the status of the 2024 finance audit, which was supposed to be completed by statute by June 30th.
This council has not seen it.
Okay, is there an expectation that it will be seen before the calendar year end?
I would have to defer that question to Mr. Pappas.
And may I ask why the delay? Why the quite substantial delay?
As I said previously, we're still waiting for the final draft from the auditor, and I had expected it by now, but we should get it very soon.
So it's supposed to be completed by June, and you're still awaiting a final draft?
Yes.
And to what, so you do expect it by the end of the calendar year to be presented to the council and the public? And has the delay been by the company that we contracted with? Well, I'm just trying, I do want to understand where the responsibility lies and how high a priority is it for this township to comply with what is set out. And so I'm trying to figure out if it's a problem with the firm that's been contracted, or, you know, what's going on? I mean, I've heard delay, and the council deserves to have
The firm
this.
that conducts the audit is a very accomplished firm. They
Yes.
do work all across the state.
Yes.
It is a complex document, and so we expect the council will get it certainly well in advance of the end of the calendar year.
So you have a working draft, would you say? You don't have a final?
That's my answer, Mrs. Tron.
My last question relates to resolution number 12L, the snow removal. So I'm reading this, and I'm just, again, this is just to get a better understanding of the finances and the budget. So $60,000 has been allocated for the 2025-26 season. I couldn't tell, but I presume it's coming out of the operating budget, but it's not clear.
Is it 12 alpha?
12L, the snow removal?
12L, I'm sorry.
12L, I thought.
12L, okay.
12L is the snow removal issue.
Yeah,
Okay.
12,
What was
unless
your-
it's changed, it was 12L on the.
Yep, no, it is still.
Okay.
My bad.
Right, so so it outlines that I believe we're allocating at this point 60,000 tonight to the snow removal. And that may or may not be enough, and obviously the details of the contract, I don't have the details of the contract. But can you describe generally the scope of work that is
So it is-
contracted?
it is very common for-
All the roads, is
No.
it?
No.
It's very common, Somerset County does, New Jersey does something very similar. You have a Public Works Department, but when it snows, you need all hands on.
Right.
And if you hired enough people to plow, there's other times of the year you would not have work for them, so they supplement it. And in this particular case, it goes out to public bid. There was 2 vendors
Yeah.
that bid on it this year. RJM was the low bidder. And there's a line item in the budget for snow removal contractual services that will come from.
And this-
And it's one of these ones where it's as needed. So
Right.
if we don't need it, you know, it's basically an on-call. We don't pay anything if we don't use them. It's an
Right.
on-call basis.
Snows, we want to move it.
So the scope of the work is to sort of augment the resources of the township
Oh,
where
it's
needed?
not automatic. Our
Augment.
Department of
Augment.
Pub-
Yes, it's to augment.
Yeah.
They're given a
Department
series of
Public
streets to
Works
plow.
has a nucleus of trucks, snow
Right.
plows, and certified drivers.
Right.
For a very small snowfall, a couple inches, that may be sufficient, but there is always a backup to make sure that we have enough people. It's like if you go down State Highway and it's threat of snow and you'll see 15 trucks lined up, and all of them are private contractors.
Right.
State does the same thing, but they have a bigger budget for it.
Okay,
So
thank
this
you.
There's actually 2 parts.
So it's to
There's
augment, but it's not a
there's the
specific,
plowing, and also the sanding and salting, which is a different issue. Those are the supplies that we have to keep.
Okay, thank you for that. So it's not just, for example, the municipality properties, like the senior center or this, it's
Oh, no.
wherever
No,
it's
these are
needed.
our municipal streets, all 220 miles of them.
Okay.
Now, this is a small subset of that. There are primary responsibilities for our DPW people.
Right.
And this is the supplemental force that we call upon.
Okay, thank you for that. While I was researching this, I went to Bernards Township, and they handle the snow removal a little differently. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. So from what I can understand, they have a multi-year contract with the same vendor, and their pricing and how they lay out the cost is much more detailed and included in the resolution. So I just wanted to actually physically share this with you, to bear
Everybody
in
does
mind
something
that if we're doing this every year, and because of the unknown total amount, there may be a better way to structure the contract and with more explicit language in the resolution so that it's just clearer for everybody.
Thank you for sharing that insight, if you want to. Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to address the council? Joan, this is for you. You can take that. You take both of them. Okay.
Joan Geiger, 154 Hillside Avenue, Bridgewater, New Jersey. First of all, I want to thank all of you, just about almost everyone on the dais has reached out to me, or someone on behalf of you have reached out to me and to my running mates. We really, really appreciate the graciousness, and we are very much looking forward to a smooth transition, and we're very much looking forward to working with all of you. And as you know, I come here a lot, and I'm pretty tough on you sometimes. I know, I see the looks on your faces sometimes when you see me coming up. And I heard you one time say, "Oh boy, here she comes." But I want you to know that's because I respect you, and because, you know, I know you're tough, and I know you can take it, and I know you'll be giving it back to me one of these days, and that's fine. Councilman Cardillo, I know how you feel losing when you're a Democrat and you've lost 37 years in a row. You can be very sympathetic to how someone might feel. I also want to thank all the voters. I think we had a record turnout in voting, and regardless of who you voted for, whether you voted for Democrats or Republicans, or you wrote somebody in, I think it's great that as many people came out and voted as they did. It's good for democracy. It's good for all of us. And once again, I think we're all looking forward to a very smooth transition and to working together. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Andrew Bucko, 543 Berrywood Lane. I would just like to echo what Ms. Geiger had said about thanking the members of the council for their service, and also the voters for participating in the election that was just a couple days ago. But I would like to bring to the council's attention something that was also a recent current event, and that is that in the past week, on November 1st, the approximately 42 million Americans who rely on the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, otherwise known as SNAP or food stamps, found that they did not receive any assistance this month. thanks to the current administration in Washington deciding not to use the funds that are there for paying into the program. You might think to yourself, gosh, you know, Bridgewater is a fairly affluent town, and Somerset County is a pretty affluent county as well, so it's not really a problem for us. But the reality is that it absolutely can happen here, and it does happen here, that more than 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So a loss of a job it could be, quite frankly, devastating and cause families to require the tough choice of do they pay for the roof over their heads? Do they pay for electricity? Do they pay for heating? Or do they pay to put food on the table? And that's where SNAP is supposed to come into play and help out those who need it. And in fact, in Somerset County, as of the August 2025 report from the state, 6,894 families rely on SNAP, and that includes 4,790 children, 3,172 seniors, and 4,290 individuals with disability. In other words, unlike how some commentators have suggested that SNAP recipients are lazy freeloaders, most of them are either working adults, children, or those who cannot work. And so I would ask that those who are able, if you are fortunate enough to do so, please help out your neighbors. Please contribute to the food bank however you can, whether it's through cash donations, whether it's through food donations, hold a food drive, help out, help your neighbors, because frankly, we're all Americans, we're all in this together, and it's a shame that so many Americans in the greatest country in the world, unfortunately, struggle with putting food on the table. But you know, aside from fixing that problem, at least we can help out. So if you are able to do so, please do so. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, may I comment briefly?
Yes, sir.
So you know, as you become more familiar with township operations, you'll know that this is a very generous community. And in that specific way, there is a history of our being generous, specifically our soccer organization. I don't know if they do it on an annual basis, but they do it on a close to annual basis. They do a food drive, and we collect a considerable amount. I've had the privilege of working with our DPW to drive it on over there. I've personally volunteered at the food bank, which is in Bridgewater Township.
As have I, yes.
And I think that bringing additional visibility to that is a good thing. I think there are people in every community that are suffering, whether or not SNAP benefits are in place. We are approaching holiday seasons, and I think it's a good message. People who are blessed with excess, who have the ability to share it. I think it's important for all of us to consider that.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for those words.
And anyone who uses the public library in Bridgewater, there are collection baskets right inside the gate. And generally, they're pretty full, and DPW helps empty them.
Hello to the council. This is my first time being here, so just one quick question I have for all of you.
Name and address, please.
Oh, Hearst Otherwell, 497 Milltown Road, Bridgewater, New Jersey, Somerset County. So just a quick question. I don't know if this point has been raised in prior meetings. This has nothing to do with the current agenda right now, but Being a longtime resident of Somerset County, Bridgewater Township, I've seen a lot of underutilized and empty like lots all around town, and a lot of those have been staying empty for a very long time. So just my general concern as a question is to the council, if you are going to take up this point, what would you be willing to do going forward, considering that there are a lot of empty, underutilized areas of town that are not being used, for, I don't know, other uses like retail or mixed use, shopping centers or just general stuff like that,
It's very difficult without talking about a specific lot, in that there could be a piece of property that's empty, but for example, it's wetlands and the state says you can't build there. Or prior owner is sold off and it's open space, and therefore, there could be many different reasons why a piece of property is vacant. It could be privately owned and somebody's holding it as an investment. Without talking a specific property and doing some research, it's very difficult. But, certainly anybody that owns property that comes forth to the town with a proposal, the town, I think, is always, I don't want to speak for the administration, but I think guys are always pretty willing to listen to them.
Okay. Actually, just the one empty area that I have at the top of my mind is the empty lot that sits right between the Stone Tavern Inn and the Mercedes-Benz dealership, right on 202 when you're going up to Costco.
That developer has been before the town previously. There's plans for a hotel to be built there.
Okay.
The whole commercial center that's proposed for that lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
In some cases, that particular case, developer has approval. The developer has to go out and obtain financing and then, actually start construction, which is obviously not something we control.
Okay. And just another quick question that I had. So I used to work at the old Ruby Tuesday that sits where the Wegmans and that shopping complex is, but they've been closed for quite a while now since that building is closed down. I was just wondering when that new business, Chick-fil-A said that they're going to come through and open in that building.
I'll answer that because that appeared before the planning board. They do have full approval. I believe it is their intention during calendar year 2026 to be doing that work. But again, that is market conditions and financing. I mean, it's private land. They have the approvals that they need from us, and we'll be working through our construction office. It's really, it's in their hands.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much all the questions that I had. So thank you very much.
Next person, please.
Ridwana Isla, 32 Timberline Drive. I just came in today from another meeting, rushed here just to thank both Councilman Pedroso, who's not here today, and Councilman Cordello for your service. And I also wanted to thank all of the voters for participating in our democratic process this year. And as a part of that, I did want to share a small story that a resident had asked me to share had I, received a platform like this. So just a promise to keep. I know a lot of people are concerned about things like SNAP benefits. I do want to mention healthcare is also on everyone's mind. This resident lost someone who was dear to them, somebody who was hardworking. They did not choose not to work. They were just going between jobs. They decided to change careers. So while changing careers, a lot of us have to be consultants or contractors. In that middle limbo stage, you don't get health care. You're not lazy, that's why you don't have health care. Your insurance just hasn't kicked in. A person died because they got an ear infection and they didn't go into the office, to the doctor's office. And as some of us might be familiar with sepsis, you do have a very small window of opportunity before that infection, a very simple bacterial infection, turns deadly. Unfortunately, she ended up losing this friend, this colleague, this employee. So just, if you have loved ones who are sick and might be in that same situation, friends, neighbors, please tell them to go to the doctor. Doesn't matter what the situation is. Go to the doctor immediately. An ear infection is not just for little kids. An adult can die from any kind of infection. So just keeping a promise from one of the residents that I cried with when I met her randomly. Thank you so much for everything.
Next person, please.
Seeing no one, motion to close public comment.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we are closed for public input. Public hearing and final actions, we have none under item 10. Moving to 11, which is introduction of ordinance. Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $4,100,000 for Middlebrook Sanitary Sewer Pumping Station improvements, Phase 2, in and by the Township of Bridgewater in the County of Somerset, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $4,100,000 bonds or notes of the township for financing part of the appropriation. This is an issue that's been a long time in coming. We have discussed it on this dais numerous times over at least the past year. Councilman Kirsch and I have both been down in the bowels of this pumping station. Not a pretty place, but a very necessary place. Mr. Pappas, I don't mean to steal your thunder on this, but this is an issue that I feel very passionate about, because although you don't see it, when you ride along, you may see a manhole cover and you'll know there's something down there, but this represents the guts of the process that takes the effluent, whatever it is, whatever drain it goes down in your house.
I can't wait for
takes it.
Mr. Genova's presentation.
Pardon?
Let's move on. He's not.
Do you want to move the introduction?
I will be happy to move the introduction, because I feel this is something that's a little pricey, and it is bond, but I will move the introduction.
I'll second.
Okay.
And just to make a brief comment and a compliment to our council president. He has taken a great interest in our sewer utility and understanding it, in understanding the finances behind it over many, many years, in anticipation of his retiring from the council. I have taken it upon myself to step in and gather that knowledge so that we can have a continuation of success with the sewer utility. We all pay the tax. People wonder, well, what is it, and why does it matter, and why is it so much? And there's answers for all those questions. The staff have them, the council has them. Our new council members in time will learn the answers to those questions. It is a critically important infrastructure. It's infrastructure you don't want to see. When you're seeing it, there's a problem with it. And the reason why we hope residents will never see it is a proactive investment such as this to make sure that this pumping station is now going to be up and running and appropriate for the next generation.
Thank you.
Tom could not have said it better.
Tom couldn't have said it better.
Okay, super. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Kudiller?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you read your?
Yes. Final action for this ordinance is scheduled for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025, at 7:30 p.m. here in the municipal courtroom. Public inspection of this ordinance is available on the township website, bulletin board, and in the clerk's office.
And at that meeting, there will, of course, be public input should you desire any. Moving to ordinance 11B, an ordinance amending Chapter 138, Massage and Bodywork Therapy of the Municipal Code of the Township of Bridgewater to clarify certain provisions thereof.
So moved.
I'll second it.
We have beat this one to death. This has been, I'll just make a brief comment. The police have briefed us in detail about the background and need for this particular change in provision. Mr. Pappas, did you have anything else?
Yeah, just one additional comment. Besides the police department, the health department has a very important role in monitoring and inspecting these facilities. They have been intimately involved in preparing this. A number of other people on the staff. We've probably been working on this for a year, and appreciate the council's consideration.
Roll call.
Well, and just a very quick comment, because perhaps some of the comments seem a little cryptic. We believe that a way of better managing and handling the concerns about massage parlors that may not be operating within the full effect of the law is to take an administrative approach. It will give us the opportunity to go in and through inspection and additional enforcement. Now, another alternative way to get there is through law enforcement, and by law enforcement I mean the prosecutor. I don't mean the police department. And sadly, that has not been successful. So the approach that we're now taking is from an administrative standpoint, essentially giving additional teeth to our inspector, to our court system, so that if and when any business is not operating within the scope of this ordinance, there will be additional consequence available. And over time, hopefully, legal businesses will succeed and prosper, and businesses that are not legal will hopefully find a different place to locate.
Mr. President, if I can just add one comment, please. This ordinance, these ordinance amendments are, in some instances, copied from other municipalities who have had similar concerns that we've had and have proved to be successful in other communities. Thank you.
It's honorably borrow when we take it from somebody else. Give them credit, though.
Working smarter, not harder.
Okay. Yep.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes.
Final action for this ordinance is once again scheduled for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025, at 7:30 p.m. here in the municipal courtroom. Public inspection of this ordinance is available on the township website, the bulletin board, and in the clerk's office.
Thank you. Next, we have an ordinance amending Chapter 216, Wrecker Roster, Section 216-7, issuance of license, denial, suspension, termination of the municipal code of the Township of Bridgewater to create a new suspension provision. Mr. Pappas, your comments, please, sir.
Yes, we, as you know, have an ordinance that regulates the towing companies, and this is an enhancement to ensure that the towing companies that are providing the service for the general public are acting properly. There have been instances, unfortunately, where some companies have not always carried out their duties properly, and this, we believe, will help ensure that that is minimized, if not eliminated. Thank you.
Your car was towed, you're having a bad day, and when you try to get access to it so you can take it with you or have it shipped someplace else, and the towing company is not responsive and says, we can't get to you today or tomorrow or maybe the next day, and the daily fees go up, and this is to recognize that we've had some issues in the past, and we're trying to codify them to the point where they will stop. Okay. Any other comments? If motion, please, on
So moved.
I'll
second.
it.
Okay. Anyone
I'll
else wishing to speak?
Oh, no speak.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes.
Final action is scheduled for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025, at 7:30 p.m. here in the courtroom, municipal courtroom. Public inspection is available on the township website, the bulletin board, and in the clerk's office.
Thank you. Last ordinance for tonight, an ordinance amending Chapter 94, fees to amend and reconfigure subsection F, health, thereof of the municipal code of the Township of Bridgewater. Mr. Pappas, before you make a comment on it, basically, our health department, in part, our health services in part are provided by the Middlebrook Health Commission. These are the rates that basically parallel what they use in the other 3 or 4 towns that they administer. And our health office, our health inspector, who is an employee, has asked that we use the same one because there is some trading of personnel back and forth between our employee and the Health Commission, and it's best that they all work off the same piece of architecture. How's that?
There's also a recommendation from the Bridgewater Health Advisory Board for this new fee structure as well.
Okay. Motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Any last-minute questions? Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes.
Final action scheduled for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025, here in the municipal courtroom at 7:30 p.m. Public inspection will be available on the township website, the bulletin board, and in the clerk's office.
Thank you. We are now up to resolutions, and the first one, 12A, is the 2026 Stavola Quarry Operating License for Block 711, Lots 3, 4, and 6, Chimney Rock Road, Bridgewater, New Jersey, 08807, Somerset County. Now, I'm going to ask Tom Branch, who is the Vice President of Stavola, one of them anyway, to say a few words about what's happening, because I've sort of grilled Tom about this before today's meeting. I said, in looking for and this is the mining license only, there's one word I don't want to hear tonight at all, and that's reclamation. That's an entirely different topic and is not to be muddied into the quarrying license. And basically, the question I asked Tom is, are you still coloring within the lines? In other words, the parameters of the mining area that has been previously established, are you still working within that? And he said yes. Tom, the mic is yours. Tell us in just a couple of minutes, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Cordilla. Yes, my name is Tom.
He's Cordilla, I'm Norgalis.
Sorry, Norgalis.
But, you know,
Looking at
hey, in 6 weeks, it won't make
You
any...
won't make that mistake again, Tom, I
In 6
promise.
weeks, it won't make any difference.
So thank you, Mr. Nogales. As Howard said, my name is Thomas Branch. I'm with the company Stavola Arcosa. We are the operators, owners of the quarry, as everyone would know. As Mr. Nogales said, each year we're required to submit an application for renewal of our mining license. That application package was completed on October 7th. It was handed to Mr. Genova's office. We believe that has been now deemed administratively complete. The information that's submitted each year is a plan for rock extraction, earthwork, grading, as well as additional information on survey, mine registration from the state, and stormwater management. As Mr. Norgalis said, there has been no mining beyond the limits that have been previously approved during prior years, specifically last year. We don't anticipate seeking any further limits of what was previously approved last year. So again, this is a repeat of any prior approval that was granted as far as our mining limits. What I would like to highlight as part of our efforts is an ongoing flood control study that's been initiated at the suggestion of the DEP. They've approached us 2 years ago, wanted to know if we would be interested in working with them on a flood control project to better control flooding downstream during times of high rainfall events and such. We've worked with now the Somerset County, Joe Scupian, if you're familiar with him. He is the county stormwater guru. We've had initial reports come back from him that say such a project would have a benefit of diverting a certain amount of water from the Middle Brook into the quarry, and then allowing it, as we do with other detention and retention basins, out during times of low flow. So we're very excited about working together with the state and the county on that level. Other than that, I can say that of the 40 shots or blast events that we've had this year so far, all of them have been within the Department of Labor standards for both air overpressure and ground vibration. So with that said, Mr. Nogales, I would ask you and the council to consider approval of our 2026 mining license.
Yes, I'd ask for a motion on this.
I'll make that motion.
I will second it with just a brief comment that
Now's the comment time. You've got a
Okay.
motion in a second. Go ahead.
for the public's benefit, I think it's very important to note that what Mr. Branch said about the 40 detonations this year in compliance with the state standards. While we are tasked with granting a license, we do not have authority over for lack of a better term, I'm going to say the size or the impact of the blast. I know that it comes up from time to time. That is something that is set by the state. So I just think it's important to remind the public of that. But I'll second it.
It is the Department of Labor that monitors every one of their shots, and part of their process is to set up, I guess it's a seismograph or whatever it is, on the closest residential property to the blast.
My mother's backyard.
Okay, there you go. And that gets looked at after every blast to make sure it is within the parameters established by the state. But as Tim said, we have no control over that. That is a state thing. Stavola has been a great participant in our township and has worked very hard. They have telephone numbers set up so that if people want to be notified in advance that there are going to be blasts, they can be on a website or a telephone exchange, whatever it is. And Tom has always said, hey, if people have individual questions, they can reach out to he and his office, and they are very responsive. With that in mind, we have a motion and a second.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes?
Councilman Cordella?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Representatives of Stavola, thank you for sharing time with us tonight. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, if you like. For resolutions...
We're welcome to come to their next blast, right?
Resolutions B and C, I'd like to do by consent. Resolution B is resolution requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation, NJSA 48:4:87, Bring Out Your Best $10,000 Budget, Chapter 159. And the second one is resolution requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation, NJSA 48:4:87, Newcomers Club, $6,000, Budget Chapter 159. And Mr. Pappas will get additional information on that Newcomers Club.
Coming from the Somerset County Municipal Youth Services Commission.
This is incoming money, folks. Money that we take and put in the coffers.
I'll move them on consent.
Okay, second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordella?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes. D, resolution authorizing the chief financial officer to cancel trust account reserve balances in the amount of $203,488.22 and transfer the funds to the current fund, MRNA, trust reserve canceled. Basically, these are unused funds that have been sitting around in places, and we're doing a cleanup, so to speak. Is that sufficient, Mr. Pappas?
Yes, it's, these accounts have not had any activity in at least 10 years.
Okay. Could I have a motion, please, on
Make that
D?
motion.
Second?
Sure.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordella?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes. Next one, authorizing Bridgewater tax collector Blanca Lyons to conduct electronic tax sale. Mr. Pappas, would you provide additional insight on that, please?
Yes, each year the township has a tax sale, and with technology, it is, there's an option to conduct it electronically, and this merely authorizes the tax collector to do so. And it would be, I think, early December. I don't remember the exact date.
So, and it's something we do every year as part of the process.
I apologize, I just realized this. If it's electronic tax sale, why is there a $25 mailing fee?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Motion, please.
I'll move it.
Second?
Second it.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordella?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes. Next is authorizing budget transfers for fiscal year 2025, appropriations in the amount of $308,496.98 in the current fund. Each year in November and December, we are authorized by the state to move monies around to meet circumstances that we didn't know of before. And probably the largest one in this year is the electric. The cost of electricity has gone out of sight. Anyway, any questions on this? Otherwise, may I have a motion, please?
Well, I'll make the motion.
Okay. Second?
I'll second it.
And brief discussion,
Question.
you
Go
know,
ahead.
I raised this from the moment that I saw my own electric bill shockingly high in the June, July timeframe, realizing that the municipality uses a lot more electricity than my individual home. You know, again, I think that this is a consequence of poor state management, but we don't have any choice but to pay our electric bill. I have had conversation with Senator Steinhardt about this. This issue, unfortunately, is not going away, and I am, you know, interested in potentially, you know, pursuing his support for how the state can help us out. They made this problem. While certainly we can, you know, solve it right now, we have no choice but to solve it right now as this becomes an ongoing challenge for municipalities across New Jersey. This, to me, is not all that different from a state mandate. Their lack of action created this problem. They need to help us solve it. Obviously, tonight, we need to solve it ourselves.
I'm very hopeful that the results of the incoming governor will have some traction on this issue, but we'll
They
see.
should drop January, her first day in office.
We're going to lower utility costs,
Yes. Carry
not
candles.
costs,
Carry can-
costs.
We're going to carry candles. Okay, motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Second,
roll call.
Councilman Kirsch?
yes.
Councilman Cordilla?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes. The next three I'd like to do by consent, G, H, and I. G is authorizing an additional $15,000 to Colliers Engineering and Design, 53 Frontage Road, Suite 110, Hampton, New Jersey, 08827, for Township Engineer Professional Service Contract for the year 2024 for a total amount not to exceed $135,000. So this is to add 15 to make it up as high as 135. The next one is authorizing an additional $15,000 to Darlene Green, professional planner, AICP of Colliers Engineering and Design, as affordable housing planner for the professional service contract for the year 2025 for a total amount not to exceed $55,000. And as everybody knows, we've got lots of affordable housing changes over the past. Lastly, in this batch, authorizing an additional $10,000 to Sarmad Planning Group, LLC, 26 King George Road, Warren, New Jersey, 07059, for professional planning services in conjunction with the master plan update for the year of 2025 for a total amount not to exceed $30,000.
So moved on consent.
All those, second, please, on consent. Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla?
R.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes. Next is authorizing submission of the fiscal year 2025-26 Bridgewater Raritan Municipal Alliance request for application with Somerset County Board of Commissioners in the amount of $22,575.36. Could I have a motion on that one, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second?
Second.
Yeah, brief discussion.
Sure.
Want to make sure that I fully understand this. This is our contribution,
Right,
and Brereton is taking a similar action?
yes. I don't know their amount, but they have a similar action.
Okay, and has it been determined that the, you know, the money being allocated is, you know, appropriate based on the municipality size?
So just to clarify, though, this is not our costs. This is a submission
Yeah.
for an application. So the 11,287.68 would be funds that would come to us. We provide a cash match of 28.21 and an in-kind of 84.65. So it's a submission.
Okay. I mean, but I just want to make sure that on a go-forward basis, with whatever areas we're discussing, that when we are in a partnership with Raritan and they are a
And we
valued
are.
partner.
And it is proportional based on
Okay.
the parameters that have been established.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second,
Roll
Councilman,
call.
Councilman Kirsch?
yes.
Councilman Cordilla?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes. Next one is authorizing dispersal of $44,300 from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund for renovations and repair for 2 low and moderate income properties through the Bridgewater Housing Rehabilitation Program. Mr. Pappas, can you provide just a soundbite on that one, please?
Yes, these are two property owners who have, properties have undergone inspections. There are renovations that in every instance are, would make the properties code compliant. I forgot to bring the reports with me, but there were windows, there were...
The reports were distributed to the
Yeah.
board.
Okay, yeah.
They're-
And so this is a typical example of the kinds of repairs are made through this rehab program.
Yeah.
And
The important
it is
word
not
you had
widely used. We try to advertise this, and it's not as widely used as we would hope, but it does provide assistance to many people.
And it's to make these homes code compliant, which means safe and livable.
Correct.
Motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Second?
I'll
Second.
oh,
Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch,
yes.
Councilman Cordilla,
Yes,
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Nogales.
Yes. Next is award of contract to RJM Landscape and Design LLC of 821 Parsonage Hill Drive, Branchburg, New Jersey, 08876, for snow removal services in the amount not to exceed $60,000 for the 2025-2026 snow season.
I think we've talked about this
Yes,
enough. I'll
we
move
took
it.
that one to death. I'll second it. Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla,
yes,
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Nogales.
Yes.
When's the resolution requesting less snow?
That's called a prayer. Next is resolution requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation in NJSA 40A:4:87, Universal Drainage Assessment, $156,000, budget Chapter 159. Mr. Pappas, would you comment on that, please?
Mr. Burr, Township Engineer, found a grant, and this simply accepts the $156,000 grant. As we saw earlier in the agenda, two other items of revenue that were added to the municipal budget.
Good.
I think this is
motion.
long overdue, and I would make a motion to support it.
Okay, second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla,
Yes,
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Nogales.
Yes. Next is resolution requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation, NJSA 48:4:87, Plymouth Road, Ryan Way, and Jeffrey Lane Improvement Project in the amount of $404,652, budget Chapter 159. This is money coming in.
I found myself on Plymouth Road the other day. This is much needed. I will gladly move it.
Second.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla,
Yes,
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Nogales.
Yes. Next is award of contract to Top Line Construction Corp., 22 Fifth Street, Somerville, New Jersey, 08876, for the Plymouth Road, Ryan Way, and Jeffrey Lane Roadway Improvement Project, which was awarded in fiscal year 2024 under NJDOT Municipal Aid Grant in the amount of $404,652 for the entire lengths of Plymouth Road, Ryan Way, and Jeffrey Lane in the sum of $642,997,022, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Fund. That was a lot of words. Mr. Pappas, is there anything you'd like to share for the class?
No, just that this is a grant from DOT. As you can see, about two-thirds of this project is covered by the grant. The balance is through the bond ordinance adopted by the council earlier this year.
Okay. Motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll second, and just a brief...
Roll call.
Just a brief comment. I should have mentioned this during my council comments. Compliment to Top Line, as well as our engineering staff in the intervening last few weeks. My Street, Danbury Lane, Villa Drive, Villa, it's Villa, it's Drive, and Heinrich Way were all done and done extremely well.
Roll call?
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes. Next is project resolution for professional services for the Universal Drainage Assessment Project to Colliers Engineering and Design Incorporated. Too many incorporates there. Shelbourne at Hunterton, 53 Frontage Road, Suite 110, Hampton, New Jersey, 08827, in the amount of $156,000, funded through the FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, abbreviated as HMGP.
Money we just approved. I'll
Yep.
motion to approve.
Second?
I'll second it, but could I make a comment, please?
Sure.
I think this is a tremendous benefit to the township, but we also heard Tom talking about the Stavola Quarry, working with the state also
Yeah.
for a flood control project on their site. And I would ask that their work and this work be sort of combined somehow, so that for transparency, everybody knows what's going on, and we can maybe get a better benefit out of the studies being done on both sides.
Okay. The reference made to the Stavola Quarry, back in 1997, Peters Brook coming down the road, coming down parallel to Chimney Rock Road, there was a small dam there, and at one point, due to the hurricane effect, that dam burst, which helped the major flooding and loss of life in the town of Bound Brook. The process that the county then considered was basically, during times of high water, diverting that stream into the back of the quarry to retain what they call acre feet. And they don't talk about it in thousands of gallons or millions. They talk about it as acre feet, which is an acre in size, 1 foot deep of water, which is something like 287,000 gallons. But if as that project comes to fruition, there will be a lot of people downstream who will breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that some water is being impacted along the way. Now, do we have
You have a motion, you have a second.
roll call, please?
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes. We're up to item 10, which is authorizing the fireworks display schedule for Somerset Patriots games at the TD Bank Ballpark. I'll move that schedule.
I'll second it.
second?
I'll second and make just a brief comment. During the 2025 season, my son worked select games as part of the game day staff. I don't believe that represents any conflict or reason why I can't vote on this, but want to make sure that that is known.
I can't believe anyone would consider that a conflict.
Okay, but I'm just in the interest of full
Thank you
transparency.
for disclosing it,
Get a
though.
free hot dog?
Does he get?
No,
Does
if you got
he
a
or
free
do
hot
I?
dog, then that's a problem.
No. And again, he may or may not work the 2026 season.
Okay. Motion.
May I get a
Are we
comment, please?
Are we ready to vote?
No, you have another comment over here.
Okay.
In the resolution, there's also a reference to the approval by the Findorn Fire Department, and I just want to advise you that I have checked with the fire department, and they are aware of the schedule and do not object.
And there is a massive insurance protecting the township for these things. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes. Consenting to the installation of 2 new turf fields at the Prince Rogers Baseball Complex by Bridgewater Baseball and Softball Incorporated at no cost to the township. Mr. Pappas, would you want to say a few words about that?
Sure. As you know, this facility has been in existence many years. The property is actually owned by the township, and therefore the governing body is appropriate for the governing body to officially consent to it. There is documentation that indicates that Bridgewater Baseball is assuming the costs of this. Mr. Burr has reviewed the plans and has approved them, and they have indicated that they would maintain these facilities.
Okay. Before we, motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Okay?
Second?
I have a question before we vote.
Yes, sir.
The one concern I have on this project is, okay, they're going to go in and build the field, and maybe around 5 years from now or 10 years from now, they'll have to be replaced. If I understand line number 6, the consent to construct the field shall not be construed as a joint venture or partnership with the township. Now, if I understand that correctly, that means in the future, when it comes time to replace the fields, Bridgewater Township does not have a liability or responsibility to replace
That
those.
is true. We're not on the hook for replacing.
We're maintaining.
Yeah, the purpose of this is it's their improvement on our land.
Yeah.
That's really the purpose here. That the current field lasted, I got to do the, well, I think it was over 10 years. I know my son, who's now, 19, he played on it, as an 8, 9-year-old. So you do get 10 years, but no matter how much or how little they get, it's their improvement on our land. They are fully responsible.
Bridgewater Baseball has been a tremendous asset to this township in providing one whale of a lot of money for projects like this. Could I have a motion, please? Oh, then roll call.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordella?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Nogales?
Yes. Okay, there will be no action following the closed session, but before I move to move for the closed session, I want to re-announce again that this is the only meeting in November. In the week after next, there'll be the League of Municipalities, which many people will be participating in. So our next meeting will be December 3rd, which is a Wednesday, and then the very last meeting of the year will be December 17th, which is also a Wednesday. We're now going to move to closed session. Be it resolved by the Bridgewater Township Council that this body will now convene in a closed session to discuss the following, and there's a whole series of them, to include emergency services contract, public safety and emergency services, contract negotiations for health insurance, litigation, Fleischer versus Bridgewater Township, litigation, Warren Township, litigation for affordable housing, contract negotiations for affordable housing.
So moved. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not done reading.
Yeah, I'm not done.
My bad.
When and if matters discussed become public record, the information will be known to the public at that time. Public is excluded from said meeting, and further notice is hereby dispensed with, all in accordance with Sections 8 and 4A of the Open Public Meetings Act. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second. Okay, all those in favor of going to closed session?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now give me 1 second to verify that we are offline.
Have a good night, Roman.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back online. We have completed the closed session. We are now in open session. I want to make sure everybody knows there are 46 shopping days until Christmas and exactly 2 council meetings before the end of the year. Could I have a motion to adjourn this body?
I'll make that motion.
Second? All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for participating. Good day.